2026. Happy New Year, everyone, and thanks for joining on a cold wintry night. Okay. And goodness, we haven't got much on. Apologies for absence. 329.25. Any apologies for absence, please?
We have Mike Brindle for the reasons that Matt's just explained. Chris Harvey, again, for the reasons that Mike Matt explained. Terry Jeremy and
Yes. Okay, they're the only ones we've got. Okay, any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interest at all? No? Okay, thank you, everyone. Minutes of the planning committee from the previous meeting. Have you all seen those? We only had 2 items on it last time, if you remember. Okay. Okay, can we agree the accuracy of the minutes for those who are here? You weren't here. I was here.
I honestly don't remember if I made the last one for.
I think I might have to agree with myself because it was Annie, me, and
Okay. Yeah.
one
I
other.
think that was
John.
what I missed.
Yeah, John was here. So I'm going to have to agree that they are correct, which isn't great. Okay, planning applications to consider 33225. Good evening. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm fine, thank you, Chair. So yes, a return visit for Pooch's Yard, doggy daycare. So we've got the map on there. I'm sure you'll be familiar with the site. It's sort of quite high profile there on the Mumford Road. So if we can see the photo, Alan, just turn down to it. So it's the sort of sticky out bit of the green building, basically just in front of the mast there. So that is looking southwards. So there's sort of parking, as you can see in front of it, and the actual facility is in the building there. So next thing down is a sort of more detailed plan which just shows that. So looking northwards in that case, so it's the other way around. So for this business, there are 7 car parking spaces on site. So that becomes sort of relevant for later issues. So if we now go down to, so in here we've got basically these are the variations and conditions, and with the highways comments for each one. So the first variation that's being requested on the previous planning application that's been granted is one of hours. So they previously were granted permission to run the doggy daycare 7 a.m. to 8:30 Monday to Friday. So now wish to do that 7 a.m. to 7 p.m, so extra half hour during the week, and also at weekends 7 till 6. They also want to be able to increase the number of dogs on site at any one time from 40 to 50 during the week, but also to have 20 spaces available at the weekends. And they also want to allow 24/7 use for providing an overnight dog hotel and for public to be able to access a self-service doggy wash, which is inside the building. So I apologise for the fact that I failed to hit return at that point, because the rest of the rest of that paragraph is the highways comments. So they are now saying that the first of those 2 requests conflicts with the 24-hour use because it specifies hours, and they also are requesting extra information. Oh, could we just sort of go back slightly, Alan, before we move on? Sure. There? Yeah. So also requesting more information on how the vehicle movements would be managed. Now, to be fair, to the applicants, it is to a certain extent answered within their request. So this is from their application form, that sort of small print there. There's not so much of importance in the first bit, but the second bit is sort of rather explains that basically the 24-hour bit refers purely to the self-service dog wash inside the building, and also sort of the dog hotel staff access for welfare and such to be able to manage that. So it wouldn't be a sort of doggy daycare, people going to and from at all hours of the night. So they are requesting basically as I said, the increase in number of dogs during the week, operation of doggy daycare during the weekend, but 24 access for as I said, staff for emergencies, hotel duties, cleaning, etc., and the public to be able to just sort of turn up, go into the building, wash their dogs, and go away again. So they have if we go down to the supporting statement bit now, and then if we can. So they add to that details on the application form that the reason for this is so that people who are doing shift work, non-standard working hours, can have access to those same facilities that people sort of 9 to 5 will be able to get. So they've also written a response to the letter from Highways. So they're saying that extending the hours will not materially alter the traffic levels at any one time, because they've got a time slot system. So there are 4 customer appointments within each 15-minute window. So one of them, there would be 4 people each 15 minutes. So they're not, and that would not be increased during wider hours. So it'd be the same maximum number of people going in and out at any one time. Okay, we'll go on to the next page. So as regards the increase in dogs, they've done basically some calculations. So they're saying if you go up from 40 to 50 dogs Monday to Friday, they basically worked their assumption on 90% people coming by car rather than on foot, as it were. And they have, but on the other hand, they haven't taken account of more than one dog in one car. So based on those assumptions, they would go up from 72 to 90 two-way car movements per day on the weekdays, which would be at the busiest hours from 8 to 10 car movements to 10 to 12 car movements. So that's a drop off and pick up, 10 to 12 each. And they say that the 24/7 dog wash is likely to be minimal at night, and it's in an employment area anyway, so not likely to cause any disturbance. So that is the end of that application. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Mark. Any comments? Stuart?
Yeah, I visited the site when I was mayor, and it's a well-run facility. The variation of hours I've got no concerns with, because it just extends the time over which things have dropped off. The hotel aspect, I just need a bit of clarification on that. But I think the traffic movements is not too much of an issue, because the tip down there closes at 4. The tyre exhaust place closes at 5:30. So those movements, I don't think will be too much impact. It's already an industrial area. There's no neighbours to worry about, so I'm happy to support it. Just for personal information, how the hotel, are they having a person sitting in, staying there, or is it purely you put your dog in, lock it up, and they come back the next morning?
That was my understanding of it, but I haven't read. Have you got any further detail on that at all, Mark?
No, as far as I can see, it doesn't specify that there will be a person there. So like you, I kind of assumed it's monitored remotely, and then they do mention about people coming in for sort of cleaning, welfare, emergencies. So I mean, I don't know, but my sort of logical, as far as it goes, conclusion from that would be that there isn't actually somebody there all the time, that they are sort of watching it in some way and can go in and out when needed, or that they periodically check it. So yeah, as far as I can tell from reading through all the stuff, I don't think it actually specifies whether there's a permanent presence.
Thank you, Carla.
I actually sort of come and visit them as deputy mayor in the very beginning, the first days they open, when they actually open the business. And not only they had a great space, but we can see over time until today, they actually grown the business a lot. They are considered one of the best dog cares out there. And that's, kudos to the staff that runs it. But it's an asset to Thetford, because we don't really have any other type of business in this, or at least an accommodation. Particularly the dog washing station is very handy, because I know I have a dog and I take it to Barry for this sort of things. So I have one of those in town. It's very useful. I'm not particularly worried about the minutiae of how they run the doggy hotel and everything, because they are recognized and certified as one of the best doggy cares. So I know for sure, yeah, and I feel quite confident that they are doing everything they can to for the welfare and for the conditions. And if they think they can accommodate more dogs, I'm pretty confident that would be the case. So it shouldn't be an issue. The traffic's not an issue, and they're not in a residential hour area per se, and it is a quiet time of the day where people can just drop the dogs and pick them up. I don't think that makes any difference whatsoever, so I'm quite happy to approve.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, business wise, I don't have a problem. So I was very shocked to see they weren't actually open on Saturday and Sundays. So that's absolutely fine. It's an extra half an hour as well, so that's no big deal on the Monday to Friday. My two concerns is it's the lack of sort of clarity on an overnight dog hotel. The issue is both things I'm going to say, I don't know what the planning objections would be. So this is more just a concern I'd like them to answer, but I don't know what we can get them planning on. Is the 24/7 public access to a self-service dog wash? Why does it need to be open at 1 o'clock in the morning to wash your dog, or 3 in the morning? I don't know why someone needs to go in.
I think I know the answer to that, and yeah, and the reason I know it is because I've used it just recently, and it purely by accident. Out with the daughter's dog, he rolled in something he shouldn't have done. I says, "Oh, there's that place that you could try," and I says, "But I don't think it's open." They went down at Christmas time, and it was open. Yeah. So the reason is, it's almost like an automated vending machine of dog wash. You would spray wash your car, put the dog in, you have to manually press it in. They obviously have to go and open the door to have it open for that period of the day. So that takes up staff time. So that's the bit I read, that they need 24/7 so that they don't have to keep locking and unlocking, because there's no access to anywhere else in the premises.
Yeah, good. That has answered.
Which explains that bit. What was the other concern?
The overnight dog hotel without confirmation there's going to be staff there, because I don't feel comfortable signing off on something if we even can object to it. So the idea of it is a potential, you rock up, you leave your dog there and you go.
Yeah. So I was a bit conflicted on this, because actually what we're being asked to look at is the planning and the highways concern about parking, which wouldn't affect what we're talking about. I guess it comes under kind of animal welfare, which is another part of Breckland who look at that as planning when anything's put in. So as Carla was saying, if they're registered, then they wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't, a kosher and recognised method. And that was exactly the same reason I asked the question, because I thought it doesn't really explain it fully in there. So I think it leaves us with a position where I think we agree it's a great business. It's not going to affect traffic. It would be okay. We just have a random question of how does that work? Because it's come to us as a planning issue and we don't quite understand part of it.
Chair, if I may, I've just had a look back through the original planning application, and it does mention a member of staff on site.
That's good.
Okay, that's fine. In my point of view, I think that answers our question, does it?
It's reassuring.
So thoughts, happy to approve?
Support. Yep.
Yeah, all support. Thank you, Mark. On to next one, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So we just shuffle up a little bit. So this is a couple of fairly substantial advertising hoardings for the new development. So if we look at the aerial photo there, you can see the new development all around where it says Taylor Wimpey. And if you just look at the sort of top half of that new development, there's a U-shaped woodland in effect around it. That bit just to the west of where it says A1075. So if you note where that is, because that's relevant for the next pictures basically. So that kind of U shape around where it says A1075 there is sort of relevant to where the signs are going to be. So if we move on down, So on the plan, that U-shaped woodland is there again, sort of where on this plan, the sort of existing development stops and the road leads into where the new section is. And you can just see on that map the two little red dots going from that new development area up towards the bypass. So yeah, if we go down to the next bit, so they've very helpfully provided a sort of artist's impression of what it would look like. So there are the sort of signs as they would be in situ. And if we just scroll down a little bit further, you can see the sort of plans in more detail. So yeah, that's the two red dots from your previous plans and showing the sort of what the signs look like. And if we just go down to the next bit, you can see the dimensions. So if you note, the height of it is 2 meters, basically, the sign itself, and those bits of the sign are 3 meters off the ground, so it's 5 meters in total. So that's the total height from ground to top, as it were, and the same again for the other one. So yeah, as it says, base of immersement 3 meters off the ground, and another 2 meters on top of that. So the letters are 20 centimeters maximum. It's basically a sort of plastic sign with aluminium posts to hold it down, and it's requested to be in place until the end of 2030. So the highways comments that have come back to this are that they want to know where exactly it's going to go. So basically, if it's 6 meters away from the carriageway edge, then they sort of don't consider it to be encroaching on the highway. So they've asked for confirmation that that is the case, that it's going to be 6 meters back. And they also asked for details of the how they're going to be held into the ground, basically, because it's a big sort of big, fairly lightweight surface, and it's a sort of fairly open area, so could potentially blow away. So they've asked for clarification of how the posts are going to be found, what the foundations are going to be to hold them into the ground. Back to you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Comments?
Does exactly what they need to do. It's not going to be anything special there. It's functional. I think highways comments just need to be answered.
Yeah, and ultimately it's until 2030, and then comes
Okay.
finished.
Surprised they needed planning permission, but I thought it would have been part and parcel of the original application.
I thought exactly the same, and then I had a conscience moment. The only thing that concerns me about that road all the way along is the milestone that's missing. And if you start smashing into the ground without any thought for what's underneath, we may damage the last one that's not there.
Well, the milestone that Thetford site put in, which is still there, then a mile further to that, I think, is where the cottages are.
Right, so it's this side of it anyway.
Yes, so I don't think that's going to be. And there was a replacement milestone put in the turn of the 20th century, which is set back behind the cottages the other side. So I don't think it's in that vicinity.
Right, okay, so we're clear. All right, happy to support?
Yep.
Happy to support. Good.
Okay, thank you, Chair. If you don't need me anymore, I shall head off.
Thank you very much for a short interlude, and thanks for your help. Happy New Year to you.
Likewise, thank you all. Cheers, everybody.
Okay, 33325 decisions of variance.
There are none. There hasn't been, we haven't had that many objections to developments where we have had the Breckland have agreed with us, or we've agreed with the ultimate decision that's been made. So there is nothing at the moment.
Good. The only other thing you might have seen that I asked for is the planning applications that we don't look at, that we filter out, are still passed to everybody, so that if anybody wanted to raise a concern, could still do it, because otherwise what was happening is we were completely unsighted on some things, even though most of them, to be honest, were fairly trivial.
In case we have a question from somebody and it's just not fully blindsided.
Yeah.